Happy morning. It is indeed a blessing to be here today as we take a new step forward. Everything starts with seeking blessings from the Almighty. Let us all rise for a prayer. Almighty God, we pray for your blessings as we take a new step forward today. Be our guide, strength, and support. May the seeds we plant today grow into a beautiful garden. May the children we nurture live to be beautiful, fruit-bearing trees of the future. In God's name we pray. Amen. the Life Valley family welcomes all of you to this special function event today, especially the dignitaries on the dais. I would like to welcome all of you to today's event, the parents, friends, SMC members, all those who have gathered here for this very special moment of Life Valley as we sprout new wings and soar higher. From its inception in 2010, Life Valley has grown wonderfully, and the people behind it, the golden hands behind it, belong to our co-founder and chairman, Mr. Joseph Sebastian. An altruist by nature, Mr. Joseph Sebastian is actively involved in school associations and has contributed remarkably over the years to the development of the school. He is also currently serving as the state treasurer of the Council of CBSE Schools Kerala, which has 700 schools associated with it. And the other set of golden hands is Mrs. Marina Sebastian, director and principal of Life Valley International School. A passionate educator, Mrs. Sebastian is an educational psychologist and has been in the field of education since 3 decades. She has conducted mass awareness campaigns for educators and parents in the early identification and management of dyslexia at a time when the same was unheard of. She established the Life Public School in 2010 at Muttambalam, and today she leads the LVIS at Kottayam, which has been listed by the Forbes as one among the 40 great places to study in India. She is the current president of the Central Sahodaya Conclave, Kottayam. I now invite Mrs. Marina Sebastian to address the gathering.
Happy morning, everyone. Happy morning to all my dear parents, teachers who are here, well-wishers, and today is a very important day in the life of Life Valley International School, and I have with me a team of passionate educators for the first time in Kottayam, and it is the first time that I am actually teaming up with such educators. It gives me great pleasure and great honor to be a part of the team here today. I think from the faces I can understand that you all have mixed feelings about what is to come, what is going to be happening. I know that we had given away a few clues as to what you are to expect. It has been ongoing in the media, in the school groups and everything, that something is going to come up. But I know that a lot of questions have to be answered, a lot of doubts have to be cleared, a lot of apprehensions are to be addressed. So we are for all that. And so I'll just start by telling a little bit about the journey that we have undertook so far and the journey that we propose to embark upon from here. We started off, just as Sanju mentioned, in 2010 as Life Public School in a place called Muttambalam in Kottayam. It was a preschool at that time, and it was a slow journey. We added one class at a time, And that is how we grew today into the school that it is and called as Life Valley International School. So it is said that if you want to go quickly, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So till now, we wanted to go quickly and we wanted to take the school up to the level that it is today. And so now at this juncture, when the first, that is the flagship batch of our school, is awaiting in their wings to graduate in 2024, that is the time when we wanted to go far, and what best than to team up with an organization which is the greatest in the world as far as private schools go. The school with the largest, the organization with the largest number of schools in the world, 190 to be precise, all award-winning schools, spread across 10 countries with around more than 170 students of about 176 nationalities studying. So the journey is going to start with this team, and as far as Life Valley is concerned, the vision of our school has always been that we provide experiential learning to the students, and the mission to be the true embodiment of ensuring equity in learning, which promises a room for every child to excel in life. Life as it is, when expanded, is called learning is fun and everlasting. I don't know how many of you are aware about this, that we impart learning in such a way that it is fun at the same time it lasts a lifetime, which is why it is an activity oriented school. The approach is holistic. Equity and excellence in education through differentiated instruction has been our forte, wherein each child is addressed according to his or her own needs. Each child is addressed means it is not that you address every child sitting in the corner, locking there, not listening to the teacher. It is not that what I meant. Equity is the need of the child is addressed, wherein each child, when he or she asks, if I cannot learn the way you teach me, will you teach me the way I can learn, has always been the pattern that we follow in Life Valley School. And it is a happy school to study. When students all over the world detest Monday mornings, the students in life detest Sunday mornings. The reason being that they cannot come to school on a Sunday. There have been many occasions when our parents had physically brought the kids to the school gate to show that it is closed, that they are satisfied. Otherwise, they would always want to come to school. And that is the reason why it was mentioned in the Forbes India magazine as a happy place to be amongst the 40 great schools in India. We have a method where the teachers do not teach, but they also learn along with the children. And that helps in the learning process. And of course, as the world is evolving, the school is also embarking on new journeys. And as you all are aware, the NEP 2020 has been a game changer in the field of education. And this has given a lot of impetus on the process that we had in mind of spreading our wings and upgrading further. So if you have noticed, Life Valley International is always about upgrading. it is a tagline where it says upgrade to life. So what is this upgrading all about? Students who come to our school, they have gained a lot of skills. That is the core area the school focused on. So the skills is what is needed in the world for them to live as successful individuals. And that is the area where we have been focusing all along till we came upon this great organization that I mentioned, having similar vision, where I had noted their core areas being value and their core areas of care, excellence, always learning, and one team. So all those things made us also realize that we share a lot in common. And that is one very important reason that we thought about collaborating with this great organization, which is called GEMS. As you can see, it is all over the place. And we have educators and visionaries in GEMS organization, GEMS India, all of them who are here today to talk to you. So I'm not exceeding too much before I continue further. I need to introduce the team who is with me, and for that, I would also like to mention about the fact that GEMS had started its first school in Gurgaon, and which is in Haryana. That was the first GEMS school in India, and then we have the GMA, that is the GEMS Modern Academy in Cochin. And those are the two GEMS schools in India. All the other GEMS schools are all over the world, which they will be talking about. And we have today with us eminent educator, Dr. Amrita Vora, who is the Chief Operating Officer and the Director of Education, GEMS India. With over 25 years of transformative work in education, Dr. Amrita Vora is a passionate learner and educator, a PhD in English literature and a certified program leader for Cambridge Professional Development Qualifications for teachers and school leaders. She has helped set up and led various schools as principal for school development advisor, or as a school development advisor. With GEMS Education, she set up various greenfield school projects, developed policy manuals and quality standard frameworks, led professional development, managed at-risk institutions, and provided continuous mentoring to school leadership teams. A firm believer in joint practice development, she set up professional learning community for educators at various schools. And today I take this opportunity to welcome Dr. Amrita Vora to our midst, and I would like her to talk to you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sebastian, for such a generous introduction, and coming from her, it becomes even more generous. I'm sure everybody in this room has seen the kind of passion she brings to the way the Life Valley International School is set up, the way every single day it functions, the way every child feels, and the way every member of the team feels. It is genuinely a happy place, a happy school. And therefore, I think every morning for everyone there begins with a happy morning. So let's, instead of all this confusion and doubt, let's see some smiles here, and let's begin today's morning also as a really, really happy morning. I know some of us were not on time, and some of us were not. So many of us actually spent the morning waiting for others. So we've been sitting, for a while now, including me. Let's get up and move about a bit. So let's do a little exercise. Let's just stand. Okay, let's just stamp our feet like children. That's what we do as children. That's what kids will do normally. Let's just move our hands out. Stretch out a bit. Let's move around. Look to the right. Look to the left. Okay. Again, let's try and jump. We can jump. I'm sure the shoes will allow that. We can jump a little, if not much. A little. Okay, it's possible. Let's try. Let's see if we are as happy as the kids around us and as the teachers. So at Life Valley, I'm sure the teachers do a whole lot of jumping almost every other day. So yes, feeling better? Let's sit down. Everybody's awake and about. Okay, I can't be behind a dais. I am a teacher, and we always have to be with the kids. We will shortly talk about the collaboration, and as GEMS Education, we are all extremely happy to collaborate with such a beautiful concept in Kottayam, Kerala. As I'm sure most people here are already aware, our chairman, Mr. Sunny Varki, is from Kerala, and therefore this is Kerala is very, very dear to his heart. And as GEMS Education, the mission that we work with all over the globe for all the projects is one. Can we move the slide? Just permission. To put quality education within the reach of every child. In that mission, we can't be doing it only with some of our schools. Even though there may be 190, they will not still have a reach to every child. And therefore, we decided to collaborate with people who are working with a similar kind of vision, with a similar kind of passion for education. And that's how we ended up with Mr. Sebastian and Miss Sebastian, who share this vision so beautifully. Let's look at a video that will tell you a little more about GEMS Education.
Most people would say, these are kids at play. Just kids being kids. Being mischievous. Trying new things and making mistakes along the way. But always being kids. They make us laugh, make music, and play games. They like the latest technology and love to make believe. But where most people see something ordinary, we see something different. We see a glimpse of something special. We see greatness waiting to be discovered. We see genius. GEMS Education.
So yes, we see genius in every child, and that again is something that completely aligns with the vision at Life Valley. They have been talking about equity since years and years now, since the inception of Life Public School, which later turned into Life Valley, as we know. So that we do see genius in every child. In different ways, children learn, and different are interested in different things. But each one must achieve their full potential, and as teachers, we are actually facilitators of that entire process of learning. Let's quickly do one little exercise. Now, I'll not ask you to stand up again, don't worry. But we all know how to fold our hands, like fold our hands like this. Okay? All right. Am I audible at the back without that mic? Yes. So maybe some of you have your right fingers on the top, some may have the left one on the top. Just change it. Okay. Okay. We also do this. We also, we stand like this very often. So whichever way you do, you do. Okay. Now some of us have the right hand on the top, and some of us have the left. Just change it. Yeah. Easy. Difficult. This one's slightly easy, but just changing those fingers. Yeah. Such a minor change. Both hands are our own. Both hands do the same things. Even this little change raises a bit of discomfort. Yeah. So yes, any change is, when it begins, it kind of creates a sense of discomfort, what ma'am mentioned as apprehensions and so on. So we understand there may be a whole lot of questions in your minds as parents who have trusted the Life Valley School for all these years, and you have actually trusted the most precious part of your life with this school, your child. So therefore, we want to ensure that this change is made as comfortable as possible for everybody. Yes, there is slight change, but what is that change going to be? What is it all about? Is what we'll just quickly discuss. We have children from over 176 different nationalities studying at our schools. And when there are so many children from so many different nationalities, we have to have the best of education professionals joining hands to lead the way for these kids, to facilitate this learning process for these children. So we have over 20,000 education researchers, education specialists and experts working with GEMS Education. Many people do not know this, but GEMS Education is actually the world's largest employer of British teachers outside of their own country. So there is a whole lot in terms of research in education that GEMS brings with it. Whatever pedagogically is the latest, the most forward-looking concept, GEMS has already implemented in various schools and seen to it and lived with it, seeing what works, what doesn't work, what works at some places and not at others, and how does it work when tweaked in a certain way, and so on and so forth. So all of this experience actually must be shared, because children are children and all children have the right to good quality education. Education, definitely, and then not just education, but good quality education. Now, there are various ways of defining this quality, but then how we do it is something that we now, for Life Valley International School, together, we are calling it the GEMS way of life, is what we want to put into the Life Valley International School. Now, what is quality education per se? One of the things that our chairman, who's a Padma Shri awardee and a Global Goodwill Ambassador, Mr. Varki, very clearly says is, whatever be the question, education is the answer. There are a whole lot of problems across the globe. We do talk about pollution as one problem. I'm coming from Delhi, where we end up checking the AQI every day. And interestingly, when I was in Kottayam and looked at my phone to check the AQI, a creature of habit, so I ended up checking the AQI here. The phone doesn't show it in Kottayam. Obvious reasons. You don't need it shown here. Then we Googled it. We went through some effort to Google it because the phone naturally did not reflect it, and it was less than 50. In Gurgaon or Delhi, we usually are living in something like 400 and something most of the time. So it is, or it's almost 500 or something. So imagine the difference. So there is some differences that you are naturally bringing to the world, but then pollution is not the only problem. There are so many others. We are all talking about global warming. Almost everybody I met at Kottayam in the past few days said that this year is really, really hot. It's not the same, right? So there are things that are changing all around us. They are impacting us. It's not just the environment. There is a war going on in the world today, as we know. And there are a whole lot of other things, but what really is the solution?
good education. Not just education, not just literacy and numeracy, but what is genuinely good quality education. That is the only solution if we educate people well, and for a tomorrow which is going to be way more challenging than whatever we know of today, then that is what will really prepare them for life. Education, after all, is preparation for life. So moving forward, and in the GEMS way of life, which allows them to be prepared for that future in a better manner. Let's move forward. So how will we do it? How will we engage? There's nothing changing per se in the team at Life Valley. Miss Sebastian has been there and she continues to be at the helm and she will be managing, but she is getting the support of a team that is globally placed. She's always had this idea, passion to have international education within Kottayam. And therefore the name has been for a while Life Valley International School. The school also had CBSE for some years, and then, well, CBSE moved it. That was not the school's decision. It had its own advantages. CBSE continues because CBSE is our national curriculum and so required. At the same time, the school has already been implementing some of Cambridge best practices within the system, and Cambridge will be also added into the system in a bigger way. Cambridge English and so on. So how will we do all of that? How will we support all of that? GEMS Education India is also an associate partner for Cambridge Professional Development Qualifications, also Cambridge affiliation as a school in India. So we bring that with us and we can slowly bring all of that to the school. Other than that, the quality interventions or quality assurance interventions that we do, we've already done more or less like a 360-degree during our past few days of visit. We've already chalked out a plan to get to, okay, what are the areas where we need to work? How will we plug those in? What will we do to improve this and improve this and improve this and so on and so forth? And what policy, what system will be put in place? So all of those little detail of the development planning of the school, we have already begun our work around that with the team. It's always collaborative. We have begun the work, we've begun this journey. Many of you must have filled the parent feedback form that was sent just a few days ago by the school. There was also a student feedback form that was filled. So a lot of the information that we got from you and from the students through those feedbacks has been taken into consideration and has been understood. And we hear you. We clearly hear you. There are certain areas that definitely need support and help, and that is what we have given our homework for. We have the summer break now to work towards a lot of things. So it's not going to be a break. It's, I think, one of the busiest times ongoing for the team at the back end at Life Valley, and we are on it. So some of those areas and how to do it, how to bring in the international best practices within the system at Kottayam. There are many people who move from different parts of the world to Kottayam or back to Kottayam. There are many kids who are with grandparents, but the parents have aspirations for these kids to move to other parts of the world. There are many families who move from some of our UAE schools into this city and from here to there and so on. So that is again something that is an aspiration, very clearly evident in some of your feedback also. So the international best practices, the exposure to what global education is all about, and the child's readiness for moving in any part of the world today. The world is becoming like a global village is what we are living in today. So it is becoming smaller and smaller. And so it's very important for our children to be ready for it and to have the kind of, not to feel out of place where they are in any other country sometime from now. We don't know what they plan for themselves today, maybe, but we don't know 5 years from now what the world will be like. More than 85% of the careers that will exist 5 years from now are not
even invented yet. So how are we preparing our children? I think one of the key things that we can prepare them for is learning how to learn. So metacognition is very central. And then to be able to set goals for themselves so that self evaluation, self understanding, self assessment, reflection, and all of these practices, some of which are already inbuilt into the way life is at Life Valley International School. But there is some strengthening that is required in certain ways, which is what we will bring, and I'm sure you will get to see very soon. Digital integration or blended learning is. We can't shy away from technology anymore. It's in the very bloodstream of not just education, but into everything we do. We have survived a pandemic, which was a harrowing experience, but we have managed to survive it. Technology did come in very handy at that point in time. And it did change a lot of ways we thought about the world in multiple ways, but at the same time today, and it's only growing. It's only growing. We can't say that we'll not access it. We have to learn to tame it. It is a demon. It can be really, really difficult. So we have to ensure that we are not tamed by it. But we need to learn to tame it. So if you try to shy away from it, it very well knows how to tame us. So we need to therefore be on top of that and understand how to bring in and ensure that our kids are prepared in accordance for that blended learning environment. Now, objective decision making in a school campus or in any institution is very critical, and all decisions need to be data driven, and data needs to be utilized for everything. So a lot of data needs to be maintained for a lot of aspects of learning, of something like parent feedback. If a parent is moving, then some exit interviews. If a child is walking in, or if a teacher is moving, then that. So a whole lot of data at various levels, not just the student learning data from not just the marks perspective. Students are not a collection of percentages after all. There is a whole lot more to a child than any number or any grade that we may be able to put anywhere. And our job as teachers or as parents is not to judge them. Our job is to facilitate and support that learning process. Our job is to understand them. Our job is to then ensure that we provide what they really require. So that, again, is better supported when we have data deciding a lot of things from us instead of just our subjective opinions. So that is one of the key aspects again. Nothing in a school happens without the most pivotal people. Those are the teachers. And at GEMS, we believe in teachers matter. Many of you may have heard of the Global Teacher Prize, which is one of the initiatives that GEMS Education took up alongside UNESCO, or the Varkey Foundation took up alongside UNESCO. Varkey Foundation is also part of one of the initiatives of Ms. Varkey. And so Global Teacher Prize is now being compared to the Nobel, and you'll hear more about it in a bit. So teachers are really central. A classroom is all about what interaction between the teacher and that child there is. It's not how beautiful a campus looks or any of the other aspects that we may talk about. The teachers really are central. They do matter. And so, as ma'am already mentioned a while ago, that at Life Valley, it is not just children learning, it's also teachers learning. So they need a structured system for continuous professional development of teachers, and as professional learning communities of teachers to be developed within school, so that, and the school leadership team to feel that distributed sense of leadership and to be developed in accordance. All of that support is something that GEMS Education is going to be providing. Then I've already spoken about international best practices, both in terms of academic and operational excellence, and also not just the curriculum, but communication enrichment. We said global exposure, so how? We are into a lot of exchange programs, and the students can participate into events which are not just local to Kottayam, but are more international and international in nature. Some can be hybrid, some can be in person, and some can be here. We can actually create and invite people from all over. So a lot of all these are in the pipeline, as you will see. And global citizenship education is another aspect of the curriculum, which is deeply embedded in anything and everything that we do, so that our children have that awareness of global kind of learning that they get within the school system wherever they are. So all of these aspects are covered by GEMS, and we will have some of our co-team members share more about it. Moving ahead. From here, I leave it to Ms. Mr. Sebastian again.
Thank you, Dr. Amrita. That was very insightful and a lot of ideas for us to grow together as a school. It was a great pleasure working with Dr. Amrita for the past 3 days. And now as we move ahead, I would like to introduce you Mr. Peter Lugg, the Director, Academics and Curriculum at the GEMS Academy, Cochin. Globally renowned educationist with over 46 years of experience in education. He was educated in England and in India, armed with a BA Honours in English and a post-graduation in English. He taught at the Woodstock School, Mussoorie, Uttarakhand for 10 years. Colbane's High School, Essex, England for 3 years. Academic principal at the Kodaikanal International School, Tamil Nadu for 9 years. He was the principal at GEMS Cambridge International School, Dubai, GEMS Cambridge High School, Abu Dhabi, Vice President of the GEMS Schools, Abu Dhabi for 23 years. Executive Director at the GEMS Modern Academy, Cochin, where he has been working for the past 2 years and still is. I welcome Dr. Peter Lugg today to talk to us.
Good morning. I understand Dr. Amrita has already outlined much of what GEMS is all about. I have to say, I have met many of the teachers this morning from Live Valley International, and I have to say, undoubtedly, indubitably, they are a happy bunch. So, and I did visit the school, and it is, you could feel the vibrations there. It is a happy place. So I am delighted, as part of GEMS, to be given this opportunity to work with Mr. and Mrs. Joseph in enhancing Live Valley International. It is already a great school, and hopefully with us it can become even greater. As Dr. Vora has already said, the world is shrinking, and what value needs to be added to any education is the soft skills. Because whatever we learn today is going to change. We don't know, as has been pointed out, what the next 5 years will bring. Science changes. Artificial intelligence changes. And so all that really remains as a constant is the quality of the education we receive and some of the soft skills that will actually help students in the future. And in fact, all of us, because we are all learners. And they are communication skills, creativity, collaboration, and critical thinking, the 4 main C's. However, I want to end here with a little story about what we all together, Mr. and Mrs. Joseph and GEMS, can achieve. Once upon a time, there was this Raja. For the sake of it, let's say he was the Raja of Cochin. And he gifted the Raja of Kottayam 2 falcons. And the Raja of Cochin was very pleased. And he called his falconer and said, "Train them to fly." A week passed, and the Raja of Cochin came and said, "All right, show me." And one falcon soared up into the sky, way up high, delighting in the azure skies. The other falcon stayed put on the branch, didn't move. So the Raja said to his falconer, "What happened?" He said, "Could you give me another week, sir?" So another week passed, again the Raja came, again one falcon flew up, the other remained on the branch. So he scouted around and said, "Bring me the best falconers in the whole of Kerala." And so they searched high and low. And finally they found one in Kottayam, in a place called Life Valley International School. And the Raja and his wife.
Why do you hesitate? Say Raja and Rani.
Said simply, "Give me 1 day." So the Raja of Kottayam said, "1 day? All these people took months, weeks. 1 day." Good enough. 1 day later, the Raja came to the Raja and Rani of Life Valley International and said, "Okay, let me see." And suddenly, both the falcons flew up into the air, soaring high into the sky. The Raja of Kottayam said, "Raja and Rani Joseph, what did you do?" And they looked at the Raja and simply said, "We cut the branch." So I think that's what Life Valley International is all about, getting children to fly, to be independent. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Peter Luck. That was such a wonderful and entertaining story with a lot of meaning that will stay with us for the rest of our lives, I'm sure. And next, I invite Dr. Ashok Pandey, who is the Management Board Member at GEMS Education India. Dr. Pandey is a globally renowned educationist with 3 decades of experience in school education in India and abroad as a teacher, principal, author, and motivational speaker. He is a recipient of the CBSE Award for Contribution in Education, the National Award of the President of India, the Lifetime Achievement Award of the Ferguson Humanitarian Foundation International, and many more. He's also listed among the top 100 people managers by Forbes India. Today, I welcome Dr. Ashok Pandey to address the gathering.
Good morning. Suprabhatam. So unlike Amrita and Peter, I'll speak from here. I'm absolutely delighted. Thank you, Marina Sebastian, for a very kind introduction. I want to tell you a couple of anecdotes, which I'm very, very touched and overwhelmed. I did my NCC Officers Commission course from INS Vindurathi, Ernakulam. So I'm a trained NCC officer, and that was my first visit to Kerala. 3 months of commission course, and then 3 months of refresher course. So I spent 6 months there. And then I lived in Saudi Arabia for 6 years, where I had hundreds of friends from Kerala. And because of my looks and color, many people mistook me as a Keralite. And at that time, I could also speak few words, so I always passed as a Keralite. And that brought me to Kerala very, very closely. And look at the divine intervention. I have come back to Kerala once again in a capacity with some responsibility. And Life Valley is listed by Forbes India as one of the happiest schools. And by the grace of God, I have also been listed by Forbes as one of the educators. So that also brings us together. But I believe this commonality ends here. And I have to tell you that I have in my life, spent 25 years in education. And I have had the privilege of visiting hundreds and hundreds of schools in India and abroad, almost 20 countries in the world and almost 20 states in this country. And I can tell you with a great sense of responsibility, with the kind of ambience that I saw here in Life Valley, I haven't seen before. You cannot imagine a classroom with a garden. Have you seen that? You just can't imagine. You just can't imagine a campus full of trees and birds chirping, And what does a child require? A child requires a very, very natural place to grow. And that campus naturally offers it. Then the second thing you require is a very loving, nurturing, compassionate hands and eyes and hearts to look after those children. And that is also available in Mr. and Mrs. Sebastian and her team, as Peter called them, Raja and Rani. And that phrase I liked very much. So that is the second thing that the children want. And the third thing that you require for the children to grow is that opportunity for them to see the world first as a fantasy for them as long as they are young, and then later on in reality. That what are the reality of the world, what are the vagaries of the world, what is the kind of world that they are going to face, not always a very kind one, not always a bed of roses. So schools have to prepare the children for that as well. And of course, in today's world, whether you are in this part of the country or some other part of the country or any part of the world for that matter, I think everybody is connected so closely to each other that and a dependent world is the reality. Everybody is depending on each other. And that is why we have come out with first we said a local word or a localized word, and then we said a globalized word, and now we are telling that we are a glocalized word, where the local and global, they are so intertwined in each other that the separation is almost impossible to foresee. So if these 3 or 4 things are there, that makes our school an ideal school. And that is what we have seen all our life. And that is why in this context, I can tell you with a great degree of confidence that if our school is doing so much and yet they are open to invite somebody like us to do something more, I think that requires a great degree of applause for those family and people. That, to tell you the truth, anybody in their position would not have required anybody like us. But yet they thought of it, and we also thought that if such is the intention, such are the people, such is the campus, then probably for us also it is an opportunity to come and see education from a different angle. I do not know if some of your children are studying here in that particular school or not, but if your children are there, I can assure you this is one of the best places for children to grow. As Amita was telling me, we come up from north, and for us to see a campus like this is a dream. We just can't imagine it. Delhi particularly, I come from Delhi. The land requirement in Delhi is 1 acre. So if you have 1 acre of land, you can start a school. Imagine 1 acre of land, what do you do? And in that you can only erect a 5-story building and just a place to move in and move out, and that's what the school is. I don't think the school is that. I think that is depriving the children of movement, of running around, playing around, having some kind of luxury of life, at least on the campus, if not in their flats. So if that also is one of the standards, I think Life Valley International Schools comes on top from that angle also. And the last thing is about GEMS education. Let me tell you, one of the proven, that is the first organization and one of the largest organizations in the world. And what are their benchmarks? I think there are many, but one thing that they thrive on is that absolute trust in building asset of teachers. You do everything on a campus, but if teachers are not treated as assets, and if you don't invest in them, and if you don't prepare them, because teachers, the teacher's story is very, very important. And in the sense it brings to us that sometimes we have to take the comfort out and we have to take that comfort out to make people take their own action. But the teachers, like doctors or like engineers or like any other professionals, they have to constantly upgrade themselves, because learning is changing, teaching is changing, the learning styles are changing, learning expectations are changing, context is changing, curriculum is changing, pedagogy is changing, assessment is changing, and therefore sharpening of that axe, as we call it, is something very, very important. And GEMS education thrives on this. And that is why, some time back they instituted what we call the Teacher Prize. I think there is a video on that. We will show you this video as soon as I finish it. And that recognizes teachers from across the world. And you will be very happy that the last recipient of that Global Teacher Prize was a village teacher from Maharashtra. So imagine that kind of recognition to that person. They float it overall across the world. They shortlist 50 of them, then 10 of them, and then ultimately one person emerges. So this is what they are doing at the global. They are doing a lot of other things also. It was already said that with 2 schools, Kochi and in Gurugram, I think this is another venture that we are entering into. The chairman's vision, we are here to take that vision to its letter and spirit. We are guided by his philosophy. We are guided by his vision. We are guided by his sentiments. And his sentiments are with India, with Kerala, of course, to begin with. But in all his talks, he says that I am a successful school operator, but I have no great knowledge of education. He tells in all his humility and modesty. But what he actually means is that anybody who wants to spread education, I think GEMS is a model that he has created. And with that model, we are here also. And with this great family, Sebastian's, and his younger generation, Gio, also here, we find them as one of the epitomes of humility, epitome of passion for doing something for the children. And with these two hands together, I think we are going to make a lot of difference. But that alone is not sufficient. The purpose that we have invited here, and you have been very gracious to come here and listen to us unconditionally. In fact, most of you didn't even know what is going to come. That fills our heart with an absolute sense of gratitude. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you for listening. And this is what a very, very short story that we have to present before you. Thank you very much. You can play the video.
Both my parents were teachers. They came to Dubai in 1959 from Kerala. As we were growing in Dubai, we only thought it natural that as God has been kind to you, you also got to be kind to the world and create a structured way of giving. And therefore, the mission of the Waqi Foundation is that every child deserves a good teacher.
Since 2015, there have been 6 winners of Global Teacher Prize, and today we will announce our 7th. All the previous winners will tell you the same thing. The greatest gift that Global Teacher Prize provides is a seat at the top table, a real voice to make an impact in our community and far beyond. Let's now take a look at the incredible impact that each Global Teacher Prize winner has made since lifting up this wonderful trophy.
I was delighted, honored, and just shocked.
Pope Francis announced my name. I felt like I had wings.
I mean, the announcement came from the space station and it felt out of this world.
Maggie McDowell.
It was like time stood still, and I'll never forget that moment.
Andrea Zafiraku.
The winner, Peter Tabachi.
I still remember the moment. I never imagined this could happen in real to be a Global Teacher Prize winner.
So now, hello. So the most awaited moment has come, and I take this privilege on behalf of this team. This launch of the excellent collaboration with absolutely fantastic ideas and great future for the children, Life Valley International School and GEMS Education, they collaborate with each other in this August gathering in your presence and before you. And so once I say the launch, a release video will be played for you, and all of you can bless us with your claps and also with the prayers for us. Thank you very much.
That is such an emotional moment for me, especially. Seeing that happen, it's filling my eyes. It's a great moment. And this is something that we had been dreaming all along, to be empowered, to lead, and to ensure that we bring global education to the reach of every child in Cotton. And it is going to be happening. It is true. It is happening. And we thank Lord Almighty for that. And now for the last segment, I invite Mr. S. Krishnakumar, the General Manager, Operations and HR at the GEMS Academy, Cochin. Mr. Krishna Kumar, a distinguished alumnus of Symbiosis Institute of Business Management, Pune, has 30 years of post-qualification strategic and operational experience. Credited with an international experience of 10 plus years in multinational companies, he has experience of handling organizations with a scale of 5,000 plus personnel and 100 plus HR resources across multiple businesses and markets. He has expertise in strategic institutional planning, HR management, and operational insight. He is the key member of the core management team at GEMS Modern Academy.
This is Paunch.
Yes. So I just say once again, he's the key member of the core management team at GEMS Modern Academy, Cochin, and is known for handling complex problems and inspiring people leadership. Today, I welcome Mr. S. Krishnakumar to be proposing a vote of thanks for the audience.
നമസ്കാരം. എല്ലാവരും ഹിന്ദിയിലും ഇംഗ്ലീഷിലും ഞാൻ വിചാരിച്ചത് മലയാളത്തിൽ പറഞ്ഞേക്കാം. ഫസ്റ്റ് ഇന്നത്തെ ഒരു ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ് ഡേ ആണ്. ഇന്ന് 10ാം തീയതിയാണ്. അപ്പം 10ാമത്തെ ദിവസം നമ്മൾ സാധാരണ നല്ല കാര്യങ്ങളിലേക്ക് we enter into it. So as I was driving this morning, 10ാമത്തെ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞപ്പം ഒരു coincidence ആയിരുന്നു. It's a good vacation, a good day to start something. So Dr. Ashok, Amrita, actually today 10ാമത്തെ in Kerala is a very auspicious day. any housewarming, marriage, anything that we start today. So it's a coincidence. It's that it happened today. Second, life value. I was thinking, what should I say, because everybody wants teachers and education to speak. So I thought what life is full about. The word life means love in full effect. So love in full effect at the Life Valley School is what we plan to work together along with GEMS and the management of Life Valley Schools. I want to thank each one of you. I think first for being so early, that too after 3 days of holidays, all of us have been rusty, and then coming to this wonderful gathering. Thanks each and every one of you. Thanks to all my colleagues who have been working 3 to 4 days continuously on this. And there's one thing that I've been told by Dr. Amrita to talk about Dr. Ashok Pandey. One, that he won the President's Award for the teachers, one of the best teachers by Dr. Pranab Mukherjee. Number two, his teachings and his learnings are at a study in IIM, Ahmedabad. And now I am told that his learnings also, his part of whatever he's doing is at the Cambridge also. Anything that you talk about CBSE, NCERT, there's an Ashoka Pandey element to it. He is part of the national education among the prominent members in India who is part of it. So anything that you want to talk about CBSE or Indian education, he's one among the alphabets listed in education, CBSE. Lastly, thanks everyone, the team here, my colleague Sudhir, who was here for the last 3 days setting up all those things, the entire audiovisual team, and the Reliance Effect Geo. Where is he? Yeah, Geo, thank you very much. Met him 2 weeks back, and I think this transferred into this collaboration. I think we'll start with the question and answers. A couple of questions that we'll answer.
Nothing else, your blessings.
No. There are no questions as such, it's more a comment. I am Commodore Anil Joseph. I retired from the Navy about a year and a half back after 36 years of service. 45 years if I count training, but I still can't get to Mr. Peter, like he's at 46, so I try to count, how can I touch 46, but I can't touch 46. Next year, but he would have gone 1 year ahead. Be that as it may, I've been lucky and privileged to be part of both in and out of Life Valley, so I can vouch for it being a happy place. The Raja and Rani have been having me over once in a while. Every month I spend about 2 days with kids. Mostly talking about life skills, what you're mentioning, soft skills being important, and mostly started off with something simple like how do you introduce yourself and things like that. So I know it's an important place. And you mentioned coincidence. I have a habit of sending morning reflections to a whole lot of people, about 350 people plus and some 40 odd groups that it goes to. And today's morning reflection was, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. It's an African proverb, so that it's an amazing coincidence again. Call it karma or call it coincidence again. The need for it again, I don't know, because the need is definite. Because I studied in a school in Dehradun, so you would know. I studied in RIMC, Rashtriya Military College. It's a very unique school in the sense that it's a child from one child from a state that joins that school. But I always wondered, when you have one child from a state joining and there are only 25 of you, each one of you have to be first in the class or maybe first 5 in the class when you join there. But one of you have to come last once you join there. And how does that child go? We had nothing. We did it ourselves. Take the National Defence Academy. There are 300 kids who join. And once you join, you treat the 300 kid as if he's last in the class. But he's not 300 out of 300. He's 300 out of 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs. We tend to forget these sort of things, that every child is unique, every child is capable. So the need for it is even more. Those days probably we all, our generation, we fended for ourselves. We found our way without so much of training. But today the need is much more. So when you're mentioning the need, that's the reason why we have to be more involved. We have to find different ways. Kids ask very strange questions. You can't leave it with that. That why has to be answered. The why is very important. So this collaboration, hats off. I can only wish you all the best. I will be there for my service wherever. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Now you have to, in the morning. Yeah, somebody. So in the morning we did something without telling you, and you clapped also. We are so generous. Now we are going to do that formally. Exchange of MOUs, and you have to clap again. Don't say that we have done it in the morning. Yeah, please.
Certificate. So you can just look at this also. Sorry, please, one of you come to Peter.
That's the official certificate that's been handed over. Once again, thank you to all the dignitaries present here, all our friends and family members who have taken out the time to be here. There are refreshments at the back. Kindly partake of them as you leave, and keep us in your prayers, and do collaborate with us as a family, and be together with us as you were all these years. Thank you.
Can I tell one thing before you leave? The Government of India has started a scheme, and that is called Vidyanjali. Okay, and on the Ministry of Education website, this portal is available. And Vidyanjali is, Vidya Anjali, giving. So whatever experience you have, Commodore, that you are talking about, you can give your services. The younger generation needs your wisdom, your knowledge, your expertise, your skills, and your blessings. So the Government of India has recognized it, and it is being done in a very structured manner today. And lakhs of people are registering themselves either to receive something or to give something. So I think, Commodore, with your example, I was reminded of it, and you have a great contribution yet to make it for another 46 years. Okay, thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Oh, wonderful. So, Commander Chima was there, who was our force. And there was one Commander